The first sign that you're smart is knowing the fact that you don't know. What this essentially boils down to is that you never go into a new topic with this full confidence thinking, damn, I'm so smart and I know everything. No, in fact, what I've noticed from the university I go to is a lot of smart people actually, they have this student mindset where they assume they don't know anything about it, but they're also very open, they're very eager to learn about this specific topic. And I actually didn't know that this was related to smart people because, generally speaking, I've always been surrounded by smart people. Back in high school, I always took advanced classes, and now I'm in law school. So, you could say that I've generally always been surrounded by nerds. But I discovered this fact once I started playing video games online, once I started making online friends. And one of my friends, which I've spoken about in my videos already, was this Puerto Rican guy. And one thing I noticed is that this guy always called himself smart. And I just could never relate to it. Like, this guy would always call other people dumb. And he would always say this exact sentence where, damn, I'm so smart, like I do blah blah blah. I'm so smart and I do this, this, and this. And an actual smart person never says that because here's the thing with this guy, right? No offense to him. The guy was a college dropout. The guy did work at Amazon in a warehouse. He is very much what you would describe as the bottom of the social hierarchy or somewhere towards the bottom. And yet, he's always calling himself smart. And this is what I've noticed is a very big difference between actual smart people and dumb people who think they're smart. And this is also something I see on the internet a lot, You see these comments where, oh, everyone is brain dead, but I'm smart. It's like, no, bro, if that's the type of mindset you have, that everyone's dumb but you're probably not smart. I'm sorry to burst the bubble, but it's usually not a good sign. The next sign that you're smart is what I would call failing upwards. And this is actually one of the biggest signs that you are smart. You can ignore the rest of this list, honestly, if you want to. But this one is, yeah, this is just it. And so just to give you one example of my personal life with failing upwards. So I've spoken about this fact already that I failed 3 years in high school. 3 years. Now, I did take advanced classes and all that stuff. So my high school experience was what I would describe harder than 95% of students. But realistically, I still should have succeeded, at once. There was no reason for me to redo it 3 times. Even if I had to redo it, at max, it should have just been once, and that's it. But twice, that's already way too much. And next thing you know, I'm in there for the third time. And the reason why I refer to this as failing upwards is I didn't fail because I found the assignments too hard, because I found math too hard, because I couldn't pass English classes or something like that. I failed because I had a severe gaming addiction. Once I got rid of the gaming addiction, I instantly boomed upwards out of high school straight into law school. If you think about it, I failed high school 3 times, so by all means and rights, I should have been some McDonald's worker, I should have been some Amazon warehouse worker, I should have been the bottom of the barrel. But because I have been born genetically just above the average person, when I put in a little bit of effort, I get a lot of results, if that makes sense. Because I didn't study 3, 4, 5 hours to get into law school. In fact, I'm in my third year of law school, so I'm gonna get the bachelor soon. And I only study an hour a day. Like, I really don't study that much. Whenever I tell someone that I do law school, they're already thinking, wow, this guy is studying 5 hours. No, I'm not. I spend more time on this YouTube channel, I spend more time writing, I spend more time in the gym than I spend time doing school. And this is easily the biggest sign that you're smart. Another one is that you're a huge problem solver, and this is usually what people say is the biggest indicator of high IQ. Being a problem solver, people don't understand. Being a problem solver isn't just, oh, this one assignment in math or this one assignment in school. What people don't understand is if you're a good problem solver, that bleeds into your entire life. For example, typically smart students, at least from my university, they all have some sort of routine. They manage their time effectively. And so the obvious problem for most people would be, oh, I have too many tasks, there's these deadlines, and I have to do my groceries. The smart person is just going to say, well, I'm just going to make for myself some sort of routine. I'm gonna say, all right, I'm gonna put 2 hours into my studies, then I'm gonna do groceries for 30 minutes, then I'm gonna work out for an hour, then I'm gonna do this for 2 hours. Then, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. I've noticed that, yeah, almost essentially almost every smart student or person that I know has some sort of routine. They don't go through days randomly. If you think about it, most people go through their days randomly. It's super chaotic. Whereas the people that I know, they have this very much ordered life. And sure, I'm not gonna say things don't go out of order, right? Because I always study 1 hour usually, but obviously there's gonna be days where I'm gonna have to study 1 hour and 30 minutes or 2 hours or 3 hours. There's gonna be those days, usually near the exams. But typically, for 80% of the year, I just follow a routine. And from what I know, at least the other people that I know, they do the same thing. They manage their time very effectively. They tackle their problems head on. They don't beat around the bush. And yeah, just being a problem solver in general, I noticed a lot of smart people, they're very good at it. Now, this next one might be associated with autism, but I'm still going to put it here because it's also something I noticed in my university, and it's that socializing is typically harder for smart people. I believe this is because if you're smarter, your neocortex is more developed than a regular person. So the neocortex is this big part of your brain. I'll just put a picture on the screen so you know what I'm talking about. And a big part of our neocortex is made to pick up on patterns. And so if your neocortex is more developed, you pick up on patterns easier, faster, and more often. And problem with this is that socializing isn't a pattern. Now, sure, there are certain signs, body languages, stuff I always talk about on my channel too, with like choosing signals, for example, girls can give you and all that stuff. But the very nature of socializing is, in a way, chaotic. And that's also why if you've read any of these self-improvement books that tell you, how to talk to people properly, usually the advice is always that you have to be some brain dead Chad who just says the first thing that comes up in his mind. It's usually the advice on how to socialize. And smart people typically don't do that. Smart people typically overthink. They typically pick up on patterns. And personally, I've also had these issues where, someone says something in a certain way or they act in a certain way. And then I think, oh, well, because they did this, then they're not interested or then they don't care. But then later on, their actions show something completely different. And that's just because human interaction isn't this logical thing. There's no formula to solve human interaction. Human interaction is, like I said, it's very chaotic, it's very random. And that's why typically smarter people just struggle with this because they can't just turn their brain off. They can't just go brain dead, like I said. That's the best advice I can give. That's what solved it for me in university. The last point I want to make, and this isn't a sign if you're smart or not, but this is more that high IQ is in the minority. Now you've probably seen the bell curve, and if you know anything about it, then obviously the people at the top and at the bottom, they're in the minority. The vast majority of people are average. That's how the bell curve works. And what I find funny is, before I made this video, I went through some YouTube videos, and I googled signs that you are smart, and I see these videos with millions of views, millions. And I'm just thinking, you're not smart. And this is not to offend those people, there's millions of people who watch them. It's not to offend you, but it's just the truth. It's how the bell curve works. Not everyone can be smart. It's just the way it is. It's kind of like how everyone on the internet claims to be 6 foot, claims to have a big dick, claims to have a lot of girls, claims to have a lot of money, claims to be 150 IQ. Like, that's just not how it works. Everyone can lie on the internet. And so that's why on the internet, obviously you're going to see everyone saying that, oh, I'm this smart, I'm this tall, I'm this, I'm this. It's just not how it works. And all I want to say is that if you're watching this and you're average IQ, which you most likely are, it's fine, bro. Like, just stop the cope. Stop telling yourself, oh, I'm very high IQ. If you don't have the results to back that up, then does it even matter? Like, because let's say even if you were 150 IQ, right? Even if you were 150 IQ, what have you done with that? If the answer is nothing, if you're not going to some high-end school with that, then who gives a shit? Like, honestly, then you're just sniffing your own farts. And I just don't get this whole idea where everyone wants to be a snowflake, everyone wants to be special. with these videos, like I said, they have millions of views, and it's because everyone thinks they're smart, but that's just not how it works. If everyone is smart, then no one is smart. And that's not how it works. The reality is only a small fraction of society is smart. The vast majority are average, and then there's the small percentage at the bottom who is dumb or not so smart, however you want to say it. But if you're watching this, or there's millions of people that watch those other videos, there's a very big chance that you are average. Because someone who's actually smart doesn't look up, am I smart? They would see it from the results in their life. They would see it by easily getting into a high level school, from their grades, from the teachers praising them, from their students praising them, from the parents. They wouldn't have to Google this. So I can guarantee you 99% of people who watch those types of videos aren't smart. And again, I really want to drill this down. I'm not saying this to offend these people. I'm saying it's fine to be average. Just stop trying to be this snowflake thinking, oh, I'm 150 IQ. Most likely you're not, man. And that's okay. Now, a final note I do want to say about being smart is being smart doesn't mean shit if you don't leverage it well. So I already gave you the example of, someone who's potentially 150 IQ, but they're working at McDonald's. Someone like that is just a complete waste of genetic potential. Complete. Guy could be some engineer, guy could be some doctor, whatever it is, but instead he just wasted. A good example of someone who is very, very smart but got taken advantage of is Nikola Tesla. Now, I'm not going to sit there and tell you the whole story about this guy, but essentially he kind of got played by Thomas Edison when it came to inventing the lamp. Obviously, we can all get played at some point in our lives, right? I've gotten played by someone. You've probably also gotten played by someone. But then it's in you to realize, okay, I got betrayed. Now it's for me to realize this is not going to happen again. Now I'm going to make sure that I'm going to close these walls, that I'm not going to get played again. I'm not going to get taken advantage of again. But guess what? Then Nikola Tesla again gets played by Marconi. And this was more about the invention of the radio. And my point here is that social intelligence is just as important as IQ, if not more. So the point I want to make here is that even if you're this very smart dude, you have to leverage it. So yeah, the point is social intelligence is just as smart as IQ. So don't be thinking, oh, I have high IQ and my life is solved now. You need both. But yeah, that's the video, man. I'm already talking for too long.